Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Can you believe it's almost the end of the week? Crazy. So happy Thursday. I'm your coach today, Felicia Saraceno, here in sunny Southwest Florida. And we are excited today to get started. I know that we have an awesome share today. So Heather Gorman said she can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Can I get some input? Can you hear me? Because try hitting your button, your volume up and down. Okay, Kristen said she can hear me. Perfect. All right, little glitch. Sometimes technology works to your advantage and sometimes it doesn't. So I'd like to hear any shares from anyone. Any wins? We always like to start out. I know we have one on here. Oh, she just popped off. And I'm just submitting her back in. Does anyone in the meantime have a quick share they want to share with? Any success stories that they want to share from the week? All right. Heather, I know you have one. I'm putting you on the spot.
I know. Well, and that's why I was like, I can't
I
hear.
know, I know.
So yes, actually a couple big ones. I did the darn thing and I met with the League of the Blind and I got it. She said that she could not officially give me acceptance because I was actually supposed to meet with three directors and I met with her. The other two got called into another meeting. However, I am rescheduled to meet with them the beginning of next week just so we can all collaborate together. But she told me we spent almost 2 hours together. This is the best part. We were in the last half hour and she literally asked me, Heather, what is it that you do professionally?
Wow.
So I giggled because I thought about our calls last week and I said, my coaches would be so proud of me because I'm a realtor by trade. And then I kind of went into my background and how I got into real estate and took that last half hour to kind of focus on me and brag about me. And she told me, I can't give you an official because I have to have all three of us say yes. But I'm the one that does the course and in the class, and I am telling you, you are perfect for this, and I want you in here. So,
Yay, congratulations. That's a huge win.
yes,
Huge win. I love that. Just do the darn thing, rip the band-aid off and just do it, right? That's what's
yes,
important. And I see on the chat that Janet is going to her first ALF senior tour, senior living tour. Congratulations. That's very exciting. And go and take a look around, ask questions, make sure that you're paying attention to how the employees interact with you at all levels. That's always my big tip for everybody.
That's a
Um,
good one. Thank you.
yeah, that's important. You could tell a lot by how the staff interacts, especially with their eyes, and their eyes will tell you everything that you need to know about the community and the community culture. That's really
Interesting.
important.
Okay.
Take
Awesome. It's good to know.
from someone who has toured hundreds of ALFs, worked inside of them for many, many years, and had access to visit other communities at all times, and knew the backstory on what was happening culturally in each ALF. Now,
Interesting.
I want to follow up on our call last week where we were talking about getting into action. So the challenge was reach out to 5 new referral sources and set up at least 3, either Zooms, coffee and chats, meetings, one-on-ones, whatever you wanted to do with that. Heather, I see you participated in that. Did anyone else have success with participating in that? And the idea of this is, and the reason why we're pushing you all to Do 5 in a week, reach out to 5 via email, via phone, maybe at a networking meeting, is to get you into action. Attending these calls, attending other trainings from your office that you may have, or other trainings that you have doing, getting certifications, going to coaching trainings, going to the LFG call, going to the other calls that happen in the morning if you do this shift and pivot call, or one from your office. If you're not putting it into action, you need to ask the question, is it a good use of your time? So the question I want you to really reflect on is, are you a forever student, or are you entrepreneurially putting this into action for your business to create some return on that investment, ROI? Before we move forward, does anyone have any thoughts that they would like to share on that? Does that make perfect sense to everybody? This is interactive, guys, and I'll start calling on people. So I'll have to come off mute.
I was going to say, just an encouraging note to the group. That kind of, you telling us to do that last week, you're not the only coach that is doing that for us. So, I can't always get out and about. I am not always 100% making the phone calls. So what I try to do is, when I start feeling like that big animosity
Yeah.
or not animosity, I'm sorry, anxiety from oh my gosh, I've made 10 calls. None of them have done good. I feel really, really down on myself and discouraged. I started using the idea, okay, if I make 10 calls, pat yourself on the back because you don't like doing calls. Now let's do 20 reach outs to people online. So I've been utilizing LinkedIn and it worked. I have been utilizing changes in the way that I post the formulas and stuff. I had a post that had over 1,800 impressions in less than a week.
Congratulations.
And because of that, Felicia, I had 2 different people that are high level in their corporation reach out to me and say, I seen this post. I love it. I want more information. And now I have 2 more appointments. So it works, guys. It works. Even if it's not a phone call.
Consistency works. Like Corey likes to do the care calls. Like I call them the care calls. How's it going? What's happening? Do you have any life changes? Is there a storm that came through your area? Those are care calls. Those work really well because you come with a different intention. And if you are ever a KW agent, that's like a big thing that they do. They're called care calls. People call them different things everywhere. Gretchen likes to reach out to all of her contacts on social media that heart, like, follow, and message them. I will tell you that I'm a firm believer, because this works. Every person that likes my page, I respond to them with thanks for following me, especially if I don't know them. Thanks for following me. How is business? How are things going? I start a conversation with them. And on top of it, it creates a better connection with you. And I get followed and liked and hearted, and can I share this, by a lot of home cleaners in town, a lot of house cleaning companies. And I'll ask them, what areas do you cover? Can you send me a brochure? Do you have any information that you could send me? Here's my email. And I wait to see if they follow up. And sometimes they don't. And they only follow up when I post again. And I'll write, I'm still waiting to my question above to be answered. Because at the end of the day, a lot of business happens on these social sites. LinkedIn is a great one. I've connected on LinkedIn with past executives that I used to know really well, and they'll connect with me on LinkedIn. And I actually just had someone asked me to come back to senior living in the corporate office space and say, hey, would you like to come back? And I was like, I really like what I'm doing right now. But it is one of those things that, when people are seeing what you post, seeing how your intentions are, it makes a big difference. And you become the authority on all of this. Now, one of the things that you need to know is the more that you post, the more the algorithm on the Meta, especially with Facebook and Instagram, will tell you when your busiest times are. Sometimes my busiest times are times I would never think of posting. It's like 7 p.m. at night, right? So you have to be able to take that and utilize the back end of the Meta Suite. How many of you have used the back end of the Meta Suite before? I'm switching my screen. Shout it out.
Never.
Yep, I have.
Nope.
I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm just going to pull mine up. Might be a hot damn mess. So let me just change my screen. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen because I believe that this is very important for you. And this is another way that you can connect with your potential referral sources. If you're not getting good interactions with them when it comes time to calls or emails. Y'all know I like a warm intro for someone if I don't know them. I love going to networking meetings. Right now, we're in the summer. And can you see my screen? Because it's not showing that you can. I don't think so. Let me try it again. And so, this past week, I think there have been like 4 happy hours, lunches. I don't have time for that. Okay. Understand that your schedule is sacred. And I use the Calendly link a lot for people to go and book things with me because it's right on my email signature. And sometimes someone will sneak something in right in between one meeting to another. And I have a half-hour buffer, which I really needed the half-hour buffer for in case I went over or had some follow-up I had to do. So just be cognizant is if you use those features, right, you want to put in buffers. And I went and buffered out the next 2 weeks. I do 2 weeks at a time, just some breathing room. And yesterday I was guilted in. I had such a big guilt trip from a colleague of mine to come to a happy hour at a memory care community yesterday. Please come. I don't have good attendance. Please come. I really need to see you. We haven't seen you in a while. Blah, 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 blah. I said, you know what? I really can't do it. I would love to be able to commit with you, but tomorrow is my admin day. And so I have to get the items I have on my to-do list done. So I had to say no. So on here, this is my Facebook page. Can you all see it? On the Meta Business Suite, you're going to open up that. A new screen's going to pop up. Now, sometimes it'll not pop up on the right section for you. Oh, it popped up for me because I manage or have managed about 10 Facebook pages. And another good rule of thumb, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. If you have a business page and you are the only admin, that's a huge no-no. Add a friend, add one of us to be your admin so that your page doesn't get taken over by trolls. Because yesterday I got an alert, just so that you know, I thought of you, Heather, and it said someone tried to change my Facebook password. And I got an alert that they were looking for a code. And I was like, oh boy. So I went really fast and changed all my passwords, right? And I logged out of everything because you have the opportunity to log out of every device. So I did, which is, of course, a pain in the tuckish to go through. Remember what's gonna, where you had to log in for your iPad from your phone. But it was no big deal because I said, you know what? If someone's trying to get in, I made a really tough password that I had to write down in my notes because I didn't want to forget it. So this is the behind the scenes, the Meta. There's all these different things on here, your insights, your ads, your planner, and your content. I go directly to planner, and hopefully this is not going to look like a hot mess. Okay. So you see all these things right here? Do you see them? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You'll see two things when they post on Instagram and Facebook. So you're always going to see two because you can customize them for each side when you use the planner. And then your next things will come up. Now see right here, it tells me 4 p.m. this week, your Instagram follows are most active at this time. So today, I will be scheduling a post for 4 p.m. tomorrow. And then I will plan out Saturday, Sunday, Monday. See, I have things that are planned out. So like I always do a Monday motivation quote. I now do a Thursday community spotlight post, which I call community collabs and coffee chats.
Who do you highlight on your community spotlight?
Referral partners that I meet with. So like this one right here, her name is Carrie Rodriguez. She works at Encompass. Encompass is a newer acute care hospital, which means that they do subacute rehab. So they're going to do some rehab directly for more patients that need higher rehab than a local SNF. So Encompass is a newer hospital system. They were just brought out by our bigger hospital system, and they have I think they have 17 locations now in Florida, but they're going to be opening their third location in Southwest Florida. So they're in the Cape, they're here in Naples, and I believe they're opening one up in Fort Myers. And so I learned all about how they do their higher acuity care for skilled nursing, what they're doing as a hospital system, how they're partnering with the other hospital systems, and how they have state-of-the-art services. And then I learned the most important thing, which is that they have a community room. So I could do a presentation there at a community room. So she said, come tour, and I'm going to showcase you the community room. There's 38 seats that can fit in there. I'm like, ooh, this would be a great place to have people come, because I do a lot at Lee Memorial, which is our Trauma 2 hospital here. And I do a lot in their training center that they have. And so I was like, oh, well, that's in Fort Myers, Estero area. I don't really have that at a hospital down here in the Naples area. This might be perfect. And so I met with her. We talked about our businesses, how we can strengthen our relationship. And then she is the Alzheimer's walk chair for our county. And she was picking my brain because I'm the former walk chair for the Parkinson's Association for 3 years. So she was picking my brain as to, things that she could do or whatnot for that. And I gave her a bunch of ideas, which they wanted me to present this morning at 10 o'clock to the committee. And I said, I can't because I'm on here, but never fear. I recorded a Zoom and sent it their way. So they're doing that right now as we speak. But these are community leaders that I want to work with and be a part of. There's another one right here. She's my title rep. She loves what we're doing. We're doing something that nobody else is doing in the entire area with working with seniors, even where people who have their SRES are not doing what I'm doing with my team right now, which is what you all are doing in your area. So you have to meet with these people. So see, I start posting these. This is an elder law attorney. And once I get something, I try and post it 4 weeks out on that specific day so I don't forget, right? So it's like once you come up with what your content is, I want you to start scheduling out like this. Now, there are some days where there's going to be a lot of stuff on the calendar, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, we want to get our reach out there. And then there's going to be some days where there's not so many things that are happening. Now, some of these things that say archived, these are my stories. These are things I post in my stories. So not to confuse you, because no one taught me. And I was like, why do I have so many things on there? And then I realized when it said archived, it just means that it was on my story. But you can also in the back of here do your insights. If somebody likes a post or comments on a post that is not a follower for you, you can invite them through here. I'm a numbers geek. Some people are, some people aren't. I like numbers. These are the numbers I like to see. It will also give me a notification that my photos are doing better than my reels, or my reels are doing better than my photos. I also switch how often I'm doing each. So I have 13 listings right now. And 1 week I'm going to do all reels for them. But the following week I'm going to do all stagnant photos for them. And I'm getting better interaction by doing that. And I was just trying to just experiment what would work better. And then, of course, I pre-plan on here. And then you could pre-plan your posts on LinkedIn as well. They just have to be appropriate. I'm not going to put my one-on-one reels that I'm talking on LinkedIn, most likely. I'll put that on TikTok.
I took a LinkedIn class about a year ago, and I just want to let everybody know LinkedIn is very, very big on not utilizing outside like posting apps. So like Hootsuite and like a bunch of those. LinkedIn is very big like Facebook and Instagram as far as utilizing their own post stuff. So if you do use LinkedIn, I highly recommend using LinkedIn Scheduler. Do not use a third party.
I will tell you that that is happening all over social media right now. So if you use Buffer, Hootsuite, an outside company that you actually pay for to schedule your post, you are pushed down in the algorithm. And it's because they don't want those companies to exist. And I want to know who does the algorithms. I don't know about you all, but I want to know who's doing them, because I think it's kind of crazy and I'm like, someone's got the job. Someone's got the job where they're making, crazy amount of money coming up with these algorithms. However, they're not liking those apps anymore. They want you to use the Meta. They want you to use the schedulers on them. And so I stopped using them, probably 2 years ago. And I also thought that I stopped using it because I was scheduling posts, and they were not posting. And so I was frustrated. And I said, well, why am I paying $29 a month for this? And I was like, screw this. Let's get rid of this, get rid of your expense. And I think it was right when Rocket Money came out, which is that site that could tell you all the subscriptions that you pay to when you log into it. And it's really eye-opening because it would tell you all the subscription and memberships that come out every month. And it was right in front of your face. And you're like, I spent $400 on subscription this month. This is crazy. So that was one of the things that I kind of took away from it. However, by planning this out, you never have to think about, what am I posting today? I have my admin day, like I have to schedule out my social media this afternoon for the next 2 weeks. And I'm also very superstitious on closings. Some people don't like to post your just solds or your under contracts. When I don't post my just solds or my under contracts, my audience thinks I'm not busy. They're old school because my population that I serve are older. And when they see that I'm busy, they'll actually call me and say, oh my gosh, I see you're busy. I see you have a lot of listings. I see you're hustling, you're doing work. I want you to take my listing on. And I've had that happen to me several times where they said, I've had a longtime agent. They don't do what you do. They don't post as much as you do. I'm not using them. What can I use you? So it's a double-edged sword. So you hear from certain social media gurus and marketing gurus, don't post those. But I get business from it. Maybe it turns off some, maybe it doesn't. But when I get business with it, I'm going to keep moving in that direction because it works for me. So you have to kind of figure out what works for you and your market and who you serve and how they're responding. And that's why interacting, and I know Gretchen's really big on this too, interacting with your audience, make sure you just don't heart or like things, respond to it, which is really important, and it shows interaction for you. The other thing too is as we're doing this, has anyone done any planning or social media scheduling for a month where they have a social media calendar?
No.
Okay.
I tried to do a month, but I have the furthest I've gotten is about 2 weeks.
Okay. So when I mean a month, I want you to take a calendar. I don't need, oh, here, I have one here. I want you to take a calendar. You could tell how often I use this because I was on April. I'm really bad. I want you to take the calendar. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I hate this blackout screen. And I want you, adjust my background. I want you to take, this is your challenge for this week, besides some of the other things that we talk about. None. Okay. I want you to take your calendar and I want you to decide on each day, what are you posting? Is it, and if you don't know what to post, this is where I would go to an AI and ask, what should I post on which day of the week for the content that I have? You can also put in your URL link to your social media and let them know what audience you're trying to reach. So like for me, I do a Monday motivational quote and I do a Thursday community spotlight and collab. But you could also do a testimonial Tuesday, wisdom Thursday, where you're showcasing pieces of your business and knowledge. That will help to keep you on track. And like when we do a Monday motivation, if I could speak properly, a Monday motivational quote, like I went to a conference, I went to several conferences, but when I was at the conference, when a speaker would say something, I would write that down and say, I just did one 2 days ago on John Sheplack, and I cannot even remember what he said, but it was amazing. It was like, very motivational, very impactful. And I quoted them. And on top of quoting them, I tagged them in it, and it got me a message with them. And I do it that way because at the end of the day, I'm grateful for meeting these folks who are very inspirational and are helping guide us through this journey that we're on. So his quote that I wrote down, because he said this several times, I don't need to learn more. I need to be reminded of what I've already learned. And I think that is so powerful. Sometimes the stuff that we are teaching you, others are teaching you, you've already heard it before. Maybe it's just a different perspective. It's a different tweak. Maybe it's something that's new for you, but utilize that and turn some of this time that you have into something that's even more powerful. So the two things I want you to do is still make your top 5 list of who you want to call this week to connect with. Make this a weekly habit. Your goal is to set 3 appointments with that. The 3 appointments can be virtually, a coffee, a lunch, because your goal is to get in front of them and keep them reminded of how you do business, how you can help them do business. Maybe you're bringing them a referral. Maybe you're connecting them to something else. And it's okay if you're going to meet with an elder law attorney and you don't have a referral at that one time. Maybe the point of you meeting, the purpose is to collaborate on an upcoming seminar of wine and wealth, women and wills. A lot of women don't have wills. A lot of women aren't protected on second or third marriages down here. That's why we have the gray divorce happening. So there's a lot that you can do and get creative. And then lastly, try and come up with something on a regular basis that you're posting on a regular basis on social media that's consistent every week, so everybody knows that you're going to drop some sort of wisdom that week for them that showcases what you do and highlights what you do in the community and how you're serving seniors. Because otherwise, why are we here? To be a forever student? I don't think so. Y'all want to make money, right? All right, I see one head nodding. I have to jump, but I hope y'all enjoyed today. I want you to motivate you. I know you could do this. This is really exciting. I'm really happy for you because for some of us, it is our off season, but others, it's your busy season because no matter where you are in the nation, it kind of fluctuates a little bit. And you can get this really started to grow your business. And on top of it, you can make a huge impact on your community. So have a great day.
Felicia, just real quick, did you say not to post the community spotlight on LinkedIn? Is that what I heard you say? Oh, okay, you can then.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. You're not going to post a reel. I don't, unless it's informational, or if it's something that's witty and quirky, because there's a time and place for everything. LinkedIn's a little bit more serious.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. I got to jump. My elder law attorney's probably waiting for me.
Okay.
Talk to y'all soon.